Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff reveals the surprising obsession that made her quit Twitter. Coco Gauff has obsessions, like all of us. One of her most recent ones was making her spend too much time on her phone, prompting her to quit Twitter, at least temporarily. Earlier this week, Gauff was featured on the Cincinnati Open, winning her first match against Wang Xinyu. Gauff opened up about the reason why she quit social media. "I had to delete Twitter after last week because I'm too involved with Love Island," said Gauff in a press conference, as reported by Tennis.com. She listed some of her obsessions that are consistently featured on Twitter, and why she's taking a break and focusing on her game time for a little while. And then tennis Twitter's coming up, and there's all this drama from that and Love Island, she continued. Then for some reason, The Summer I Turned Pretty was coming up, and I'd never watched that, but I was into it even not watching the show. I was like, okay, I'm getting too addicted. So, I have no Twitter on my phone anymore. Gauff has been a long-term fan of the reality TV show. Love Island is one of the most successful reality TV shows of our time, sharing long seasons that feature various hot singles on a remote island as they date and fall in love with each other. "I got into it last season," explained Gauff. "This season, I was actually able to start from the beginning. I had a really bad addiction that started right around French Open time. I would be like, first thing in the morning, waking up in Europe to watch Love Island at 6 a.m., and I couldn't go on my phone until I watched it because I didn't want spoilers. I went to a watch party for Love Island," she continued. "I'm in 2 Love Island group chats. I hosted a Love Island watch party. It was a bad obsession. I was thinking of doing. If I had time, I was going to do a whole Love Island game with my friends, where we had to dress up and couple up. I had it all planned out, but I didn't have time in between Wimbledon and here. Next season, maybe." Gauff ended up winning the Roland Garros for the first time in her career, suggesting that her obsession didn't get in the way of her goals. Coco Gauff and the obsession that made her quit Twitter. At just 19, Coco Gauff had already tasted the sweetness of victory and the bitterness of expectation. The youngest American woman to reach the U.S. Open finals since Serena Williams, she was tennis's rising comet, slicing through clouds of doubt with the force of her forehand. But fame, like a tricky backhand, came spinning with a twist. To the world, Coco was the embodiment of poise. On court, she was fast, fierce, and focused. Off court, she was articulate, self-aware, and socially conscious. Yet behind the filtered lens of curated Instagram posts and press interviews, there was something unraveling. And strangely enough, it started with K-pop. Yes, Korean pop music. More specifically, a deep, spiraling obsession with a boy band named Eclipse 7. It started innocently. A teammate had shown her a music video in the locker room. 7 impossibly beautiful men in pastel suits dancing under neon lights, singing lyrics about youth, pain, and dreams. It was catchy. Coco laughed, then downloaded a song. That night, after a long training session in Miami, she lay in bed with her headphones on and played Eclipse 7's song Galaxy of Us. It hit her like a serve to the chest. The next day, she followed all 7 members on Twitter. It was subtle at first. A few tweets liked, a couple retweets, an occasional GIF saved to her phone. But the thing about Twitter was that it didn't let you go halfway. The algorithm knew her now. It showed her fan cams, memes, rumors, live streams. It whispered secrets in her notifications. And she listened. Even during tournaments, she'd find herself sneaking quick glances during changeovers. Not her stats, but at trending hashtags like hashtag Eclipse 7 comeback or hashtag Jenny Smiles Today. She told herself it was harmless. Everyone needed an escape. Eclipse 7 was hers. But escape became obsession. Phase 1, the rabbit hole. Coco created a Finsta, a private Twitter account under the name @Munshotlove. Only a handful of close friends knew. There, she tweeted about Eclipse 7 daily, sometimes hourly. She started memorizing their birth charts. She debated theories about their upcoming concept trailer. She joined fan forums, hosted spaces, and even learned bits of Korean. She bought unofficial merch. Once, She delayed a warm-up session to pre-order a limited edition album drop. The tour bus rides became concerts in her mind. She'd stare out the window, earbuds in, her racket bag beside her, dreaming not of grand slams, but of meeting Jenny, the group's quiet, philosophical leader. Her coach noticed the dip in intensity. Her parents asked if she was tired. She chalked it up to nerves. But the truth was that her dreams were changing shape, pixel by pixel. Phase 2, the backlash. As always, Twitter noticed. A tennis blogger tweeted, "Gauff's performance has been shaky lately. Less time on K-pop, more time on the court maybe?" It went viral. Suddenly, Coco was trending for all the wrong reasons. The tweet had been tagged with old photos of her holding Eclipse 7 albums, plus screenshots from her at Munchadlov account. The account was supposed to be private, but someone had leaked it. She opened her phone to a storm. Focus on tennis, not teenage crushes. Is she serious? Wow, she's one of those fans. Embarrassing. Even some of her fans turned cold. It wasn't just judgment, it was mockery, ridicule, condescension. The kind reserved for young women who dared to love something too much. It stung more than any defeat. Phase 3, the silence. In the days that followed, Coco played one of the worst matches of her career. Unforced errors piled up. Her serve faltered. Her head wasn't in the game, it was online. That night, she stared at her phone. Her hands hovered over the Twitter icon, thumb trembling. Notifications pulsed like a heartbeat. She had a choice: defend herself or disappear. She chose the latter. Delete app. Deactivate account. Silence. The surprising truth. Weeks later, Coco reappeared in a press conference. The room buzzed. Microphones leaned in. Her recent victory in a hard-fought semifinal had brought her back into the spotlight. A journalist asked casually, "You've been off Twitter for a while. Mind if we ask why?" She smiled, hesitated for a breath, then said, "Sure, I'll tell you." She leaned forward. "You know how sometimes you find something that makes you feel seen in a way you didn't know you needed? That was K-pop for me. It sounds silly to some people, but for a while, Eclipse 7 made me feel human. Not an athlete, not a brand, just a teenager with a crush and a playlist." The room chuckled softly, but I got obsessed. Not just with them, but with the noise around them. The drama, the discourse, the fan wars. I wasn't just a fan anymore, I was caught in a machine. It started taking more energy than it gave me. I realized I was waking up not thinking about my serve, but about what hashtags were trending. She paused. The room was silent. So I quit. Not because I stopped loving it, but because I needed space to remember who I was outside of it. Twitter made me forget. Music helped me cope. But obsession makes you forget your purpose. What came next? Coco took a long break after that season, not from tennis, but from everything else. She detoxed her digital world, swapped screen time for journaling, traded memes for meditation. Slowly, she found her rhythm again. Her serve regained its bite. Her focus sharpened. And most importantly, she started playing with joy again. She still listened to Eclipse 7, of course. But now, their songs played between workouts, not during them. Juni's lyrics no longer felt like lifelines, but reminders. Reminders that even stars need grounding. Coda, an unexpected message. A few months after her public admission, Coco received a package. No return address. Inside was a signed Eclipse 7 album, and a note written in careful English. "Dear Coco, we heard. Thank you for being brave enough to love openly, and even braver to walk away when you needed to. Keep shining, on the court and off. Jenny." She smiled, clutching the letter. Maybe obsession had made her quit Twitter, but self-respect had brought her back to herself. And that, she realized, was the real win.